The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Emergency podcast. Our emergency podcast. Dated May 15th, 2023. I've got a lot of time here. I got a couple minutes here. A short window to get this in. Because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say today, right now on the show as we, by the way, does it feel like 2020 again? Because if you're an NBA fan and you see the teams now left in the conference finals, both West Conference finals, Denver, LA, that kicks off tomorrow night. Boston, Miami, that kicks off Wednesday night. Kind of like 2020, right? Because it's the same damn four teams that we had in the bubble 3 years ago. So I thought the bubble was a fraud. I thought it wasn't real. Yeah, here are your four teams now. And by the way, one's a 7 seed in the West, in the Lakers. One's an 8 seed in the East, in the Heat. Well, I thought the bubble was a fraud. Well, we get all that later on. I'm going to have my prediction. I actually had a longer show planned today. I had a lot more things on my chest, but I'll save that for later in the week. I wanted to get in here, maybe about 15 minutes tops, and just kind of react to yesterday's, the only game yesterday, Game 7, Sixers and Celtics. Celtics win that series in 7. You can't tell me that Philadelphia had every which way to win that series. Every which way. They had every opportunity to win that series. They steal Game 1 without the MVP. Without the MVP and Joel Embiid. Okay, didn't even play that game, and they still won that game. Okay? You win Game 5 on the road. Tied 2-2. On the road. Game 5 in a blowout. Have the Celtics, the defending Eastern Conference champions, on the ropes. Win Game 5. Everything's set for you. You're at home for Game 6. All right? The East champs on the heels. You have the MVP. You have James Harden playing, 2 games he was phenomenal. 2 other games he was meh. You had everything set up. You're down big early, 16 points early in the game. Come back, take a lead. Jayson Tatum's having one of his worst shooting days of his career. Was it 1 for 13 into the fourth quarter? And you can't get the job done. Game 7, of course, yesterday. I mean, it was a formality for me because I knew once he lost Game 6, there's no way in hell you're gonna come back and win Game 7. This is no way in hell it's gonna happen. And yet you guys were up, early, playing well. And then once that technical foul, flagrant foul on James Harden happened in the second quarter, the game literally just flipped on a dime. And I got to tell you, it's a lot of blame to be had here, But I'm going to start here first. What's about Boston in a second? Because they figured out a way to get the job done. Heads are going to roll. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, as I'm recording this podcast right now, and I push publish on here, that Doc Rivers has not gotten fired already. It would not surprise me. I'll be stunned if he's the head coach next year for this team. I'll be stunned. Because that is atrocious. And I'm not saying I want him to get fired. I'm not saying that he probably should get fired, but he's going to anyway. This is who he is. And I wrote about this a couple years ago on my blog that, and it's at the time he was the coach of the Clippers, where I said that he was overrated, and I got a lot of heat for that because how can you say that about NBA Finals winning head coach, dude? He's been living off that NBA Finals championship for now. It's been 15 years since the Celtics won the last championship. It's been a while now. What has he done? He's a good coach. I'm not saying that he's not a bad coach. He's a good coach. But he has a ceiling. Joel Embiid, the MVP. I'm not blaming him for the loss. I'm not blaming him for that loss. But he did not step up in the last 2 games. Both can be correct here. Okay? He did not step up. All right? And look, here's the ball from the Sixers. If I'm the Sixers. because you know they're going to be some consequences to what happened yesterday. If whoever the GM, if who's it now? Dal Morey, he's still there. Assuming he keeps his job. If I'm Dal Morey, James Harden, let him walk. You pray he opts out his contract. Because there's no way I could pay this guy even close to max dollars. Especially given the fact that he's now 32, 33 years old. The new CBA rules are coming to be in place now and make it harder for this team to be flexible going forward. Let him walk. If he really wants to go to Houston that bad, back where the strip clubs are at, and that's his goal, let him walk. Let him walk. I also think that Tyrese Maxey took the leap this year to where, you know what? Use that cap room to get more depth. You build around Embiid. You build around Maxey. Get more pieces. Shoot, if I could trade Tobias Harris, I would too also. Tobias Harris over me. Jimmy Butler said it right last year. You guys chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Let Harden walk. If I'm the Sixers, you let him walk. Honestly. So that's all I'll do in Philadelphia. Is that Doc is gonna be gone. There's no chance he survives this. No chance. Let Harden walk. You build around Embiid and Maxey, and you use that cap room you're going to get with Harden walking to get more depth. That was embarrassing what we saw yesterday. Not because of the way they lost, because that's part of it, but everything that played out the last 5 quarters of basketball. You were literally minutes away from going to the first conference finals in 22 years, and you blew it. And you pulled up that performance. And again, I'm not blaming Joel Embiid. He's the MVP. He deserves that. He's a bad MF, you know that. But at the same time, if you're an MVP, heavy is the hand of the crown. You do get some blame for this. Bottom line. As for the Celtics, you guys saw last week on social media, I've been really rough on Jayson Tatum. You know, I made a social media post last week, which got a lot of ire from some people, especially to, you know, basically stating the fact that James, and I think I spoke about this on the last episode I did with my boy Zach over the weekend, saying that, you know, Jayson Tatum should be his top 5 talent, but I guess can't put him there yet. And then game 6 happened in the fourth quarter, and then game 7 happened yesterday. He might finally crack top 5. Look, I won't do my list probably until closer to next year. I mean, this on a whim right now, your top 5 for me, it would be, you know, Jokic, it would be Embiid, it would be Giannis, it would be Steph Curry, and Luka Doncic. That's top 5. Now, who do you take out? Do you take out Embiid? Do you take out Luka? I don't know. You still have more basketball to be played. If Tatum continues to if Game 6 was the inflection point for Tatum, and he continues to dominate through this series against Miami, then he goes to the finals, assuming he goes to the finals. I hope not, because I'm a Heat fan, of course. He goes to the finals, and he dominates against Denver or LA. Wins finals MVP. Gives Boston the first ring in 15 years. Which obviously I don't want to happen, but I'm just talking about from an analysis point of view. He has car top 5. And Game 6 would have been Game 6 of that series, face elimination would have been the inflection point. He's a damn good player. He really is. But there's always something missing. And I think you saw, it isn't the fact that he scored 51 points in a game, is that he was actually verbal for the first time in a while. He owned the game. He actually saw that this was his game. He was talking his shit, as you say. Sometimes you need to see the fire. Like, he walks in 30 points a game. We know this already. This is why you say he's top 5 talent. But he doesn't seem to have the grit in the same way that the top 5 guys do, like the Jimmy Butler does, you know. And now that's changed now, at least now for these last 2 games. He might find my top 5 officially. So that's just that in that series. Great series, obviously. Philadelphia, they got work to do. As for conference finals predictions, starting the East first. Well, start the West first because that starts first tomorrow. You know, I'm leaning Lakers in 6. I want to pick Denver, but I gotta see Denver win it. I just gotta see Denver win it. I gotta see it. I gotta see Jokic do it. I don't know if the altitude will play a part in the series. If it can affect things in the series. I just know that when Anthony Davis and LeBron James are higher powers and healthy, which they're not really healthy. LeBron's still pretty dinged up, but he's figured a way to be effective regardless. Get players involved as always. That's why he's one of the best players of all time. That you can't doubt that guy. You can't. So I'm leaning Lakers in 6. Leaning that. Because I can't see Lakers in 7 because that would require them winning on the road in Denver, and I don't know if they can do that. I got to see it. This is the series I have a hard time really picking here. And I want to say this real quick for LeBron in the legacy because, again, look, I'm not one of those that actually finds the Jordan-LeBron arguments interesting. I don't really, like that. But it's getting closer, guys. You may hate that, but it's too bad. He was on the ring. It's closer. Like, I already told you it's closer than people give credit for. I'm still Jordan 1, LeBron 2. But I always said that the pushback has always been it's a lot closer than we give credit for. It's getting closer, guys. It's getting closer. He was on the ring. You can't. You have to acknowledge he's in the conversation. Even if you're a LeBron hater, you have to acknowledge the conversation. That's 5 rings and winning on the back end of his career. Because LeBron, there's been no one ever in this league who's been this good, this late in their career, in the history of this game. No one. That's a fact. Just saying that. So, but I have Lakers in 6 for the time being. Like I said, that's a toss up for me at this point. East Finals. Look, you want to think head of heart. Miami Heat shouldn't even be here in the first place, but they're here anyway because they have the best damn coach in basketball in Eric Spoelstra. Jimmy Butler, top 10 player in the league. A lot of damn heart. Obviously who I'm rooting for. You know why Leaders lies. But you're asking me to analyze this as a basketball fan first. Boston's a better team. The only advantage Miami has in this series is coaching. That is it. And the reason I'm getting Boston in 6 and have it going that far is because of the coaching disparity. Eric Spoelstra will coach around and backwards around Joe Mazzulla. We know this already. But here's the problem. Boston's a much better roster. First off, the best player in the series is not even Jimmy Butler. It's Jayson Tatum. Okay? Boston's roster is much better. Okay? This is a series where you probably wouldn't need tell a hero. Hell, this is a series where you probably wouldn't need Victor Oladipo be available. And that's why I'm taking Boston in 6. And I said, I feel like Boston in 5, to be honest with you. But the reason why I'm saying 6 is because I think Eric Spoelstra can get 2 wins out there because he's that damn good as a coach. That's the reason why I have Boston going in 6. Plus, of course, no. But, that's how I feel about that. It hurts to say that because I'm, obviously I'm not a Celtics fan and I'm a Heat fan and all that, but just be acknowledging that. So, other than that, 2 things I got here. I'm gonna touch on 2 things I got here. One more thing I got here. I was gonna touch. You know what? I'm gonna keep it short because I gotta get out of here soon. John Morant, of course, suspended by the team. All team activities. You saw the video that came out on IG Live. He's brandishing a gun. Allegedly, his friends filming them in the car. This is a rap song, and then a quick 0.5 seconds of him holding the gun and all that. Let's see this right now. And we'll hear more details going forward. Obviously, John Morant needs help. John Morant needs help. This idea of wanting to be in that environment, this idea of wanting to embrace that world, that thug, gangster life, what we call that, it's ruined his career. He's got warned once already. And you know what? I'm out. And this is why I'm insulted as a human being, as a black man also, too. This is why I'm insulted personally. And you guys can think I'm too hard on this guy. I don't give a damn. This is how I feel about this. This dude has the ability and the resources and access to get help. Okay? With his money and the resources he has to get help. He's acknowledged he needs help. He said this on the interview with Jalen Rose literally 2 months ago. Or less than that. He has the access to get help. And he's not doing it. I don't know if rehab's going to help me at this point now. And there's nothing illegal about the gun necessarily. I don't know. I'm assuming the Tennessee law is a little lax on the gun, so I'm assuming there. But it's an image league. You know you're a top 10 player in the league. You know that you have an image to uphold. What are you doing? And why are you filming it in the first place? And you have people out here make, people who I respect, especially too, doing mental gymnastics defending him. He's wrong. What's wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong. Period. And it's insulting to me because he has the access to get help in a way where someone like me doesn't have the access to get help for things like this. And he won't do it. It's insulting to me. It really is. So John Morant, look, I'll pray for you, brother. You need to get help. You're going to ruin your career. I don't know if it was because of the people, the company you keep around you. But you need to get it work. You need to get help. Seriously. Just saying. All right, one last thing we got here. One last thing I want to touch on. South Florida sports here is having a moment where we haven't had probably in decades. The Heat in the conference finals, as I said earlier, against Boston. NHL Florida Panthers in the conference finals, facing the Carolina Hurricanes. It is fun right now to be a sports fan in South Florida. I'm not born here. I was raised here. I've been living here since I was 9 years old. I'm someone that embraced South Florida sports. As I got older, the only team I wouldn't say I'm a Panthers fan. I'm a supporter. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I'm a supporter. Same with the Marlins. The only team I'm a fan of in this market is the Heat, and I've been a fan for that 34 years. But you live here long enough, you embrace sports radio here, and you go enough games, and just the camaraderie of sports fans in this market, you start to embrace that. So I acknowledge. Look, I'm a Rangers fan, hockey first. Whenever they play, obviously we're for Rangers first, always. But this is a cool story. South Florida's having a moment here. It's great. It's great time to be a sports fan here down in this market. Two teams right now. Yeah, hell, look, I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, I would say the Panthers have a better shot of winning the Stanley Cup than the Heat have a chance of winning the NBA championship. Let's just say that. But right now, having both teams, by the way, mirroring each other, both teams, number 8 seeds in the conference, both teams beating the number 1 seed, team with the best record in basketball, team with the best record in hockey, to get to where they're at now. It's a great time to be a fan of South Florida. And I'm just embracing the moment. Having a moment right now, and I love it. So, anyway, get at me later. Each person stepping on Twitter. Want to keep this short and sweet. We'll get more podcasts done in a week. We will talk soon. I got to get to work now and make some money for family. So, we'll talk soon. Love you guys. Take care and see you.